And that's the big idea. So if you want to check out the full deck list, please head on over to mtggoldfish.com. It's deck number 854155. The deck's going to run you all of $19. And if you don't care how many packages you get it in, you can get this deck as low as $16.50. But in two packages, $19. So this deck's going to be legal until January 31st, and hopefully your play group just lets you play it for as long as you want, because it's really not overpowered at all. And it's a lot of fun, and just kind of switch it up a little bit. That's what we like to do around here at FNA MTG. So that's the big idea, and thanks for watching the video. We'll see you next time. So the next set of cards that we have is the land cards. We ended up with 40 lands in this deck, 15 plains and 10 swamps, and that's it. All the 15 other lands are just dual lands, basic dual lands, all on the affordable side, so nothing spectacular to talk about. And we see here the end of the rest of the cards with Young Pyromancer, Goblin Slide, Razaketh's Right, Diabolic Tutor. So we have two tutors, one that can cycle away, but both these tutors I like to just go get whatever die roll card that I want to play with, or whatever you want to tutor for. You can tutor for any card you want, but die roll card, to keep with the flavor of the deck. Young Pyromancer's floor is a 2/1 for 2, and its ceiling is a 2/1 for 2 that lets you get a 1/1 every time you cast an instant or sorcery, and there's 20 instant sorceries in this deck, so it's not bad at all. Goblin Slide's ceiling is there's only 10 creatures in the deck, so every other card is gonna allow you to pay 1 and get a 1/1 if you want. So, all right. And we have Stoneforge, Masterwork, Sword of the Pyrans without weakness. These are 3 cards that strictly are in here to support the big idea even more. If you get a bunch of Brainiacs out, Stoneforge Masterwork will pump the big idea up. Sword of Pyrans is going to end up costing you like something like 10 mana just to get it on the big idea and untap it once. But you could tap or untap for 3 mana, and so a lot of investment, but you can use 7 mana and untap the big idea. Hey, why not? I mean, we can't run whatever that other one's, I can't think of the name of that other one that you can tap and untap target creature in this, so Sword of the Pyrans is going to have to work. That other one was like $25. If you can think of it, please tell me what I'm trying to think of in the comments. And then without weakness, you can give it indestructible for a turn or just cycle it away. So, and now we have the rest of the cards. So we have 10 cards that fill out the rest of the deck. Impact Trimmers and Throne of the God Pharaoh give you incremental advantage for creating so many tokens. Not as much as the Locust God or Krenko or anything like that with Impact Trimmers, but here and there, so why not? And then if you're going to be tapping them to roll more die, you might as well have Throne of the God Pharaoh to deal damage to each opponent that way too. What's going on here? Oh, looks like somebody had a side quest. Hey, now we have Box of Free Range Goblins, Steel Squirrel, Snickering Squirrel, and Lobe Lobber. I think I said that right. These are all cards that care about die rolls. I have no idea why Box of Free Range Goblins isn't 4 or 5 mana, because the most you can get is 6 goblins, but hey, it's flavorful. Snickering Squirrel lets you increase the die roll by 1 if you tap it, and then Lobe Lobber gives you a tap and deal 1 damage, and then roll a die and untap it if you get 5 or higher. And then Steel Squirrel, you could just pay 6 mana to roll a die if you want. And then also Steel Squirrel gets bigger every time you roll a die, but just in case you just feel like rolling die, you got 6 mana laying around, well, roll some die, why not? Here we have Sly Spy. This is number E, so there was A, B, C, D, E, F. There's 6 Sly Spies, and E is this one that lets you get in for combat damage, and then when you do, you roll a die and the player loses life equal to the result. Paniac, Inhumaniac, and Hammerjammer, all creatures that care about you rolling die. Here we have the cards that care about die roll. So, Squirrel Powered Scheme lets you increase your die roll by 2, and Craig's Other Thumb is just like Craig's Thumb. but instead of coin flips for die rolls. So you can roll 2 instead of 1 and ignore one of them. It's important to note on score-powered scheme, increase the result of each die you roll by 2. So if you roll dice, 2d6s, and you get a 4 and a 3, then you actually got a 6 and a 5 because each one of the die is increased by 2. Here we have our hexproof card, so Mask of Avacyn, Glaring Spotlight, Cloak of Dagger, Whisper Silk Cloak, all cards that give temporary or permanent shroud to your commander as long as they're equipped, and or you pay the cost for them. Now, if this budget was a little bit higher than it is, I would definitely run Lightning Greaves on this slide somewhere, probably in lieu of the Cloak and Dagger. And here we have the haste enablers. So Hammer of Perverose and Ashley's Prerogative, Bloodsworn Steward, and Orc Battle Driver. So Bloodsworn Steward's only going to give it to the big idea, but that's okay because it curves well into one another. Orc Battle Driver will just give it to everything that we have come in along with a +2/+0 boost. Ashling's Prerogative, we're going to want to choose even for that. Now, everything, yours and your opponents, will have haste, and also everything that does not have even, so odd cards will come in tapped, but that is all right. I'm pretty sure 0 is even, so your Brainiac tokens will come in untapped, no matter what you choose. Well, no, only if you choose even, what you want to do, because that's the commander's even, so. The next category is the haste and the hexproof. So we have fervor, just gives all your creatures haste, and then swiftfoot boots to give your commander hexproof, along with whatever else you want to equip, but it's in here for the big idea. And here we see Ruinous Path, Profane Command, Bioforce, and Fireball, all targeted removal spells. In the case of Bioforce, maybe more than that, and the same with Fireball. Awaken on Ruinous Path is not too relevant. Just wanted to get an affordable way to get rid of a creature or a planeswalker in here, and then Profane Command gives you a little bit of that extra, modal card choices for you. Here we have our Mass Removal Suite and Deadly Tempest, Chain Reaction, and Garrick's Wake, and Mizium Mortars. So these are more on the expensive side, but we are running budget-friendly, affordable list, so I wanted to keep this right at a nice little Franklin $20 bill. So we just got to run these. If you got other cards laying around, feel free to swap them in here. And next up, we're going to talk about removal. So we have Terminate and Unlicensed Disintegration to start us off. Just 2 solid Rakdos targeted removal spells. Wrapping up the card draw suite, we have Read the Bones, Sign of Blood, Cathartic Reunion, and Tormenting Voice. So, red's not really card advantage, but more sorting through it. And then Read the Bones and Sign of Blood, not too great of an advantage, but you do get a dig 2, draw 2 there, and then, just draw 2, so you end up a card on both of these. Here we have Greed, Argyle's Bloodfast, Vance's Blasting Cannons, and Outpost Siege. So if you get either one of these 2 to flip, Vance's and Argyle's, you will have a Bolt on a stick and Life Gain on a stick, but they're in here for card draw or card advantage purposes. And then, this is just what red and black do as far as giving you more cards or letting you look at more cards, so it's to be expected. The next set of cards that we need to talk about are the draw cards. So we start off with Faithless Looting and Damnable Pact. So Damnable Pact's pretty cool because you want to use it on yourself to just draw X cards. So if you, obviously, the more you pay into it, the more you're going to get out of it. But at 3, you end up even and down a life, and then at 5 mana for say, then of course you would draw 3, lose 3, and you would end up 2 cards for 5 mana investment. It's not the greatest draw spell, but affordability wise, I like it a lot. And then if a player's low enough on life and you got a bunch of mana laying around, just kill them. Use this to kill them. And then Faceless Looting, you end up for 4 total mana, 2 red and 2 over the course of 2 different interactions, you end up even on cards because you draw 2 and lose and discard 2, which you end up down a card because of the Faithless Looting. But because it has flashback, it kind of ends up where you just end up dead even on cards and you get a loot really early in the game. So especially if you're in a play group that allows no partial pairs, so you just do the straight mulligan rules, Faithless Looting is a good card. And here we're wrapping up the mana rocks. So we just have our 4 3-costed mana rocks. Worn Power Stone is what I like to call slow ring. I think it's not just me, but it's referred to as slow rings. If you have Soul Ring, just replace these 2 cards because Soul Ring's not in here due to the cost. I just didn't want to play a single card that cost over $1. And here we have our 2 mana rock suite. And the next category we have is the mana rocks. So Hedron Archive will let you tap for 2, but later on when you don't really need mana acceleration, you can get 2 cards out of it. So you end up, you end up a card on that. You end up 2 cards on that. Whatever. You get to draw 2 cards and you get the mana rock there. And then Mad Science Fair Project, you get to roll a die, and you always get a colorless, but sometimes you get a colored. So this is what the deck looks like here, a visual view for you. We ended up with 40 lands, 20 artifacts, 10 creatures, 10 enchantments, 17 sorceries, and 3 instants. And I just think that the big idea is a fun commander to play. That's not too broken, and you should be able to just play this anytime, in my opinion. But you don't end up breaking the bank too bad if you don't end up in a play group that lets you play it. Please ignore the $1.07 cost on Bloodsworn Steward there. The card is not $1.07. And then as you can see here, no card ends up at $1 or more for the entire 100 cards, which is what my goal was. I mean, ends up only being $20, so really can't beat that. Curve's pretty strong. Got a lot of stuff going on at 2, 3, 4, and then not much on either side of that, but we always have something happening, with the 6 mana in our commander, so wherever that ends up being on what turn, hopefully, you get that on turn 4 or something like that, and then end up being able to use that ability every turn after that and protect it and have some fun with Brainiacs. So the big idea is just a lot of fun, and I like it a lot. So the big idea is 4 red for a 4/4 legendary Brainiac villain, 2 hybrid red-black hybrid red-black tap. Roll a 6-sided die, create a number of 1/1 red Brainiac creature tokens equal to the result. Tap 3 untapped Brainiacs you control. The next time you would roll a 6-sided die, instead roll 2 6-sided dice and use the total of the results. That's a 4/4, and it is unstable. Hello, welcome to Fun and Affordable Magic the Gathering. I'm Joshua Jones, here with you today bringing you an unstable edition